Good evening, everyone. So this is a love reading for you guys, but I just want to tell you that these videos aren't dated, most of them. So this one in particular, it's really just going to resonate for you at the time that you came across the video and watched it. So this reading is going to apply to that time or resonate with that exact time for you. So I am just going to move on and get straight into it. So we have group 1, group 2, and group 3 here. So group 1 is represented by this grandfather clock, group 2 is represented by this teapot, and then group 3 is represented by these red shoes. So I'm going to count down from 10. So you should just go with your gut instinct to decide. So I'm going to count down from 10, starting now. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay, so here we go. I'm gonna start dive into group 1, and I'm gonna just move the other cards out of the way. And we just 1 second. Okay, so we have group 1 here. So let's see what we have for you guys for group 1. So I'm really getting strongly, okay, so we have the fortune card. So I'm really getting strongly that when this person saw you, they felt like you were a prize to be won, like maybe you're very beautiful, or like if you look at the card, this person playing this instrument just looks very beautiful, mesmerizing, and when they first saw you, I think they were really drawn to that energy, and they really did see you as a prize. Like I really want that person in my life. And here we have, so we have, we have desire. So I think that this is pointing to the fact that you spark some sort of desire in them that maybe they don't feel with other people. Necessarily, they're very passionate. I'm getting some strong fire energy. So possibly Leo or Sagittarius, maybe one of those, or maybe another fire sign, but I'm really getting a strong fire energy here. Yeah, they're a passionate person and you really spark that in them. But here I'm getting that there is some disappointment that maybe sprung out of that passion, but maybe having a bit too much passion. I'm kind of getting that maybe one or both of you were partnered, and maybe that wasn't necessarily revealed to the other person, and then there was maybe a sense of betrayal. 3 of arrows. So yeah, some betrayal, and then maybe like an argument over that. Yeah, maybe something wasn't revealed necessarily all at once, and there was some disappointment with that. And I'm getting that it's resolved, but not necessarily completely in terms of emotional resolution. Like you got into an argument, it's passed, it's stabilized, but I'm really picking up that maybe emotionally it's not completely stabilized. Like you're still kind of carrying that with you in some way. Here we have desire. So yeah, I'm really getting strongly that maybe one or both of you are partnered, or you were partnered when you met and you had to break up with that person to get together, or betray them, getting betrayal. Maybe they were betrayed, or you were betrayed, or maybe their partner or your partner, previous partner, was betrayed in some way. But desire, see this red-haired maiden. Okay, so I'm getting really that they are very passionate, but you really spark that passion a little more than with other people, or they feel that passion a lot more with you than most others for some special reason. And yeah, they are a very passionate person. Once again, going to that sort of fire energy, Leo, Sagittarius, kind of getting that. And I think they are a bit impulsive and spontaneous as a person as well. They're not really the type to think too much before making decisions. So once again, they saw you as some form of prize, and they were like, okay, I want that person in my life. I'm gonna go after that person. And so here we have some lenormand cards. Going to shed some more insight. So we have a cavalier here. So yeah, this is a very fiery person. They just kind of tend to go after what they want without thinking too much about it. yeah, that's just the type of energy they have. And then here we have the garden. So I think maybe you met at a social event. Maybe they're a social butterfly. They're very socially inclined, or you're very socially inclined, and you met at a party. And I think this is where probably all this occurred, like some sort of, not necessarily party, but social event, like a public place, very social, people-y place. And then after that conflict that you had, or that sense of betrayal, you're at a crossroads. And I really think that that's going to be a hard decision, whatever it is. Crossroad usually represents a major decision. And then here we have some tarot cards to shed some more insight. So I'm just going to go. So yeah, here's the Three of Swords, once again pointing to that exact betrayal or sense of betrayal or disappointment that occurred that you're kind of carrying with you and trying to get over. Here we have the Moon card. So this kind of represents that I think you know deep down inside your inner truth what you need to do when it comes to that hard decision. There's some sort of, not everything is revealed, I don't think, but I think you know that something, you know kind of what's going on. You don't know the exact fact, but I think, or facts, but I think you have some kind of intuitive vibe that something is definitely awry. And then here we have the Death card. So this isn't necessarily a negative card, but it does point to transformation. So I think that if you want this to work, I think a part of you is going to have to transform or renew, or a part of the other person is going to have to transform or renew or mature in some way. Like an old part of you has to die in order to move forward, basically. That kind of energy. And it is going to be kind of a difficult decision, whatever it is. And I really do think it does have to do with this sort of like passion and everything. That's great, but then you know, sometimes you just gotta like think things through a bit more. And you gotta have balance. And once again, that sense of betrayal, I think that's kind of maybe still there for one or both of you. Okay, and so I have a quote for you guys. It may or may not resonate with you, so I'm just gonna read it out loud and then show it to you up close. So the only way to get rid of temptation is to yield to it. Resist it, and your soul grows sick with longing for the things it has forbidden to itself. So this is an Oscar Wilde quote. I'm going to repeat it again. The only way to get rid of temptation is to yield to it. Resist it, and your soul grows sick with longing for the things it has forbidden to itself. So I think this is what it's saying is temptation is a big proponent of your relationship or partnership or whatever you have. Temptation, yeah. And you got to balance it out. I mean, passion is a great thing to have in your life, I think. Without that, I mean, it's pretty boring existence. But at the same time, you got to balance that out, because too much of a good thing is never healthy. So yeah, just keep that in mind. So first group, I hope you enjoyed that reading. So like, comment, subscribe, share if this resonated with you, and I'll see you next time. I'm gonna move on straight to group 2. So here we have group 2, the Teapot group. So I'm gonna move on and then try to see what we have for you guys, whatever it may be. And with this Lovers Tarot. So let's see what we have for you guys. So right away I'm getting that when this person saw you, they wanted to rescue you. Like if you see here, Dante and Beatrice, this is Grace. So they wanted to rescue you. I think they saw you as like a fallen angel of some kind, whether you're male or female, and they just really felt protective over you and wanted to kind of be your hero. And that's what drew you to them initially. And here I'm getting Prince of Cups. So I'm getting, or Princess of Cups. So I'm getting that maybe another thing that drew them to you is the fact that you're this really intuitive, emotional person. I think I'm getting some water sign energy. I think Pisces or Scorpio possibly, like they, or maybe even Cancer, but I'm really getting strong Pisces and Scorpio for some reason. But you have this intuitive energy, emotional, represented by the ocean, and the dove is that sort of spark of intuition, just deep knowing that you have, and they really love that about you, that your emotional cup, so there's a cup here, is overflowing, and you have so much overflowing in your emotional spiritual cup that you can't help to sort of fill that cup for other people as well. And this person really loves that about you. But once again, they were drawn to you because they saw that they wanted to rescue you in some way. And so here we have the Zeus, King of Coins. So I think that this person probably is pretty financially well off, or at least maybe out of all their attributes, they see that as a quality that they want to share with you, or they see that as something that they can impress you with, and financially maybe. But I just kind of want to give you a warning that you don't want to depend or let the other person give you too much, because then sometimes that can lead to dependency and resentment and imbalance. So once again, balance is key in every situation. Like, let them help you, yes, let them support you, but don't let them overdo it. I think there's a fine line. So just letting you know that. And then here we have balance. So yeah, balance is key. As you can see, Venus and Vulcan, not really familiar with that mythology, but balance, you can see the ocean and some earth energy. I'm getting some strong earth energy for them, like maybe Virgo or Capricorn. I'm getting some strong Virgo, Capricorn energy here, as you can see, earth, ocean. But there is balance, and I think that you do have a pretty good balance as long as you can maintain that balance, not overdo it. And I don't think this card needs much explanation. So this is Isis and Osiris, love. So yeah, you have a really good balance. Like, you can see they balance each other out. It's perfect harmony. This is the ultimate love. I think this is actually one of my favorite cards in the deck. But yeah, there's not much to explain. There's great love between you guys. And then Ace of Cups. So yeah, I think this represents what can really flourish if you have the right balance, a balanced dynamic between you two, like with your intuition, represented by the moon, his kind of like earthy sort of, his earthy energy represented by his crown, can really lead to this Ace of Cups, like flourishing energy here, very beautiful, moonlit, overflowing, powerful though, just a beautiful flourishing energy. So yeah, balance is key. Once again, I really just want you to keep that in mind. Balance is very, very important, and it's fluid as well. So here we have some Lenormand cards here I'm going to use to emphasize a bit more. So we have the Bear card. So once again, even though this person is an earth sign, Capricorn, and well, I'm just getting probably an earth sign, or maybe if you look into their moon or Venus chart, in their natal chart, regardless of their sun sign, I'm getting a lot of strong earth energy. So Virgo, Capricorn energy, and I'm really getting that they're more like a bear than anything else, and they're very steadfast and kind of committed, dedicated, and they're very consistent about being that hero in your life. And then here we have the Tower. So I'm getting that this person probably has a pretty stable job, like maybe a government job or some kind of like managerial position where they have to lead others, and it can be stressful. But what balances that out is your emotional bounty, like that ability to really provide emotionally, that softness, that intuitive sort of energy that they actually really find delight in. They find balance and joy in that. And that's why they want to be a hero. So, and here we have the key. So this is really loving energy that I'm getting. I'm really getting that if you never really opened up to anyone, one or both of you, about something important, something deep down inside that maybe you always even knew that you never told anyone, or they never told anyone, or you never shared with anyone, or you never revealed to anyone, I feel that with you guys, you were able to reveal that to one or the other person. Like maybe they revealed to you something that they never really admitted to themselves, or you told them something that you never told anyone, but there was trust. And like, as you can see in this card, there's a lock and a key, so you were able to unlock, you are each other's keys, I guess, to the locks of your hearts, the lock of your heart, their heart. Well, you get the drift. So this is a really loving, positive energy I'm getting, and wow, I love it. Okay, so here we have some tarot cards to emphasize, to delve in a little bit more. So here we have the World card. So I'm guessing that maybe you are either really into travel, or maybe you grew up in another country, or maybe you originate from another country, or they really love travel. It's like something that you have in common, or maybe you have, or they have a really strong interest in foreign languages. But I'm really getting that this is a really good commonality that you have, and that maybe you can share, like foreign travel, foreign languages, foreign cultures, and it's what attracted you to each other. Okay, so here we have, so these kind of go together, I think. So here we have, so we have the Ace of Pentacles. So this person sees their sort of monetary power or this, representative of this giant coin here. They see this as like, this is my way of impressing this person. This is what I have to offer the world that I'm confident in. And that's great and everything, but you really do have to maintain that balance once again, because here we have the Emperor card. The Emperor is a really good presence, very stabilizing, strong presence, powerful, but at the same time, there's a fine line between being a powerful emperor and being a tyrant. So it's good that they probably like give you gifts and they want to support you, they want to be your hero, but you really have to maintain that balance once again, to kind of be your own independent person, and then not let yourself fall into some form of dependency. Like, it might not even be their intention to have you become dependent on them, but sometimes I think that can just happen. Dynamic shifts, and then you can kind of reach an imbalance. So you really want to maintain that balance, which is fluid once again. It's not stagnant, it's constantly fluid. So with balance, I think this is a very loving relationship, partnership, whatever it may be. And I'm going to read this quote to you. So, love is not if or because. Love is anyway, and even though, and in spite of. I think this is an anonymous quote, correct me if I'm wrong, but I'm just going to read it again and use my fingers to quote the things in quotations. So love is not if or because. Love is anyway, even though, and in spite of. So I think that actually really points to the fact that this is an unconditional love that you guys have with each other. But once again, there is that balance, which is fluid. You got to really maintain that balance. And yeah, I don't think you judge each other. You kind of accept each other. It's really, you got to emphasize that with each other, I think, as well. Keep in mind that's your strength. It's not conditional. It's not like, oh, if you do this for me, or because you're like this, I love you. It's really more about, even though you're like this, I love you anyway. And even though, like, in spite of this, like, we can still work out, like that kind of thing. Like, it's unconditional. I'm getting really good energy here, but once again, balance is key. Just please keep in mind balance, because it is everything. Okay, so that was group 2. So like, comment, subscribe, share if this resonated with you, and I hope that you enjoy the reading. Okay, so I'm gonna very quickly move on to group 3. Last but not least, these beautiful red shoes here. So this is group 3. Let me just, so you can see it really well. Okay, I'm gonna move on, move these cards out of the way, and then let's see what we have for you guys. Oh, this is backwards, excuse me. Okay, Lover's Path cards. Let's see. Give me just one moment. Okay, so immediately I'm getting that this person is represented by Merlin and the Magician. I'm getting that this person is pretty lucky. Like, maybe they're the type that things, when they think of something, things just kind of materialize for them, or they may not have to try as hard as other people to get things that they want. I'm getting some strong energy with this other person. And I think that even with you, I think when they came in contact with you, I think they realized, oh, I'm lucky. Like, I'm not saying that you traded down, but I'm kind of getting the energy that they kind of know deep down inside that they traded up and they're lucky to have you. So okay, here we have 2 of arrows. So I think this is Cupid and Psyche. Correct me if I'm wrong, but Cupid and Psyche, I don't know if that necessarily pertains to this, but what I'm getting strongly from this card, regardless of that, is that this person is a little bit childlike energy, like Cupid here, and they look up to you. Like, look at this woman. I think this is Psyche. She's minding her own business, sleeping, just doing her own thing, and then Cupid appears and he's like mesmerized, basically. I think maybe the other person really looks up to you. For some reason. Maybe look at the other cards and see what it reveals. Okay, so here we have Cleopatra and Caesar, fertility. So I think that you do have a very fertile energy. Excuse me. Gotta take a sip of this tea. So you have some fertile energy in terms of maybe even biologically you're fertile, like you get pregnant easily, or if you haven't ever had kids before, I think that maybe you are fertile, possibly, but you also have fertile energy, not when it comes to just biologically, but emotionally, mentally. When you have an idea or when you go after something, I think it materializes, not because of the luck like the other person is lucky, but I feel like you are good at identifying exactly what needs to be done to make something flourish, and you're fertile in that way, like kind of like a farmer or someone who has a garden. Like they just know like the proper way to take care of the plants, the growing life forms in order to make it grow, and you really do have that fertile energy, and I think that's what they ultimately really admire about you. Like here we have, it's a Hera. I always like Hera because she's kind of a boss. But here, so Queen of Coins. So I think that once again, you have like a boss energy. Like you, male or female, you're kind of alpha, you're a go-getter, and you get things done, and you know how to get things done. And I think you're pretty successful. It may not be outright financial, but it can be when it comes to your ambitions. You are a successful person, and they really look up to you because of that. So here we have the King of Cups. So I'm getting that this is more like their energy. Like they're more emotional, more a little more laid back than you are, maybe a bit more chill. But once again, I think they are lucky in life, and I think that has gotten them far. I think they're really good at forming social connections. The cups obviously kind of represents like social bonds, or they may tend to be lucky in the connections that they have, and that tends to get them to places. So that's their energy. And then here we have Pluto and Persephone. So I would normally say that this is a balance card, but I really do think this is about negotiation, because if you know anything about Persephone or Pluto, or Hades, I guess, they struck a deal where Persephone would go up into the world, I think during spring or summer, correct me if I'm wrong, and then during like winter and fall, she would go back down to the underworld to be with Hades. So they really did have to kind of negotiate. I mean, they had a dynamic that worked for them. They worked it out. They figured something out, and it worked. So I think this is the card that kind of represents, yeah, you have to kind of compromise with each other and negotiate and then reach a common ground. And this card is transformation. So it's going to be like maybe that, I think the situation here is that you are going to have to strike a negotiation, reach a compromise that's going to be transformative in your relationship or partnership or whatever it may be, dynamic. It's going to be transformative negotiation. Once you reach that compromise, it's going to change a lot of things for the better. But I think the key is that getting to that compromise in the right way. So here we have some Lenormand cards to clarify more. So we have lilies. So this usually represents traditionally usually an older lady, or if you're a man, you could maybe even be a slightly older man. But I'm getting that maybe you're like a senior to this person in some way. Maybe like you hold a higher position, like if you work at a company or a job together, you hold a slightly higher position, or you have more experience in love or life experience. That's what I'm kind of getting from this energy. And then here we have, so birds. So I'm getting that maybe there's a little too many people that are kind of in your business a little bit. This card traditionally represents gossip. So if a lot of people are tugging you in certain directions, like, oh, you should do this, you should do that, or maybe guilting you or trying to influence you to make a certain decision about this dynamic or relationship, you shouldn't listen. You should really follow your own inner truth and go with your own instinct, because I think you, with that fertile energy, you know how to make things grow. And if it's time to cut and run or grow something that you already have, I think you already know it if you're receptive to your inner truth. And here we have the Stork card. So I think this represents, once again, launching of something new with that. Let me go back to that transformation card. So I think this is what it's pointing to. The transformation with the negotiation that you're gonna do with the Pluto Persephone. You're gonna have to negotiate some form of deal, kind of like Pluto and Persephone. They reached a compromise and they were able to make it work. So I think that's ultimately the message here, is that you are going to be able to launch something, grow something new, but you really do have to reach that compromise in the right way. And so here we have some tarot cards here, and so I'm going to go through each one. So yeah, we have the Knight of Cups. So this person is kind of dreamy, kind of laid back, chill. I'm guessing that maybe you're going to have to take the lead when it comes to this negotiation or compromise. You're going to have to kind of set the structure for it a little bit. And here, strength. So you're obviously the strength, whether you're male or female. I think you represent the kind of the leader, the strength of this relationship, the backbone. And this person has a lot to offer the relationship in their own way, but then it's also maybe like they can maybe take your lead. You can kind of lead them to like reach a compromise, to negotiate And I think they are going to be receptive to that. You just have to really go about it in the right way. And here we have the devil. So I think this is not a negative card, by the way, but I think this is saying that you should maybe try to keep this dynamic healthy. Like with every dynamic, with every relationship, there comes the risk of maybe imbalance. And so what I'm thinking here is that if this person, once again, like if they're more of the dreamy energy, laid back, and you're more of the strength, I think there needs to be a balance. So maybe even the negotiation may even be that you may have to sort of balance this energy out. Like maybe you can encourage them to step up to the plate a bit more, and maybe you might benefit from taking a little bit of a back seat sometimes, like not being too aggressive. But in terms of reaching that negotiation and compromise, I think you are going to be the one to initiate it. But I think it is important to have that balance between you being receptive, sometimes you taking the back seat, and then them being stepping up to the plate for a change and being a little more aggressive. There has to be that balance, represented by once again this devil card. If it's imbalanced, obviously it can lead to unhealthy dynamics. So I'm just going to read you a quote. Your quote, the quote for group 3. I'm going to read it to you and then hold it up to you. So love yourself first and everything else falls into line. You really have to love yourself to get anything done in this world. Lucille Ball. So a quote from Lucille Ball. So love yourself first. I'm just going to read it to you again. So love yourself first and everything else falls into line. You really have to love yourself to get anything done in this world. So yeah, it's just a sign, once again, balance. I don't think this is necessarily saying being selfish, but or encouraging you to be selfish, but there has to be that balance between nurturing and loving yourself, because I think that's the first step to nurturing and loving somebody else. And so just keep that in mind, group 3. And yeah, negotiation skills, balance, it's always key and very important. So I hope you liked this video. I hope it was helpful. Like, comment, subscribe, share if this resonated with you, and we'll see you later, group 3.